We're here.
We're here. All right, welcome back, guys. So today we're doing a little bit of a different video. We're doing a case study with John. Now, I guess we'll start it off with, a bit about your background, introduction, and I guess like what you do now.
Obviously, I'm John, 24 next week.
Yep.
So 23 at the moment.
Big birthday.
Hey?
Big birthday, boy.
Big birthday, yes. Living in Adelaide. This is the apartment complex.
Yeah.
And been in sales for the last 3 years.
Yep. We'll get into that, but first things first is like, obviously, like you said, in this apartment here. Like, look, this isn't out of hand's reach for anyone at all, living in this sort of apartment. It's not the cheapest, it's not like the most expensive thing, but
yeah, does the job.
3 years ago, the point I'm getting at here, like 3 years ago, before you got into remote sales in the online space, making money online, did you picture this being life?
No, mate. I was, you know what's funny about it is I was living in a garage.
Yeah, in Gold Coast, eh?
That's right, yeah, it was a big share house and I was living in a garage. I had my setup there in my bed and it was very, very different.
Yeah. What was life like back then, before sales? Because obviously I know a bit about your background.
Yeah.
Right, but for everyone listening and watching who are new here, I guess like, where did you start?
I started doing odd jobs
before remote sales.
Yeah, odd jobs. Like I was working at Dan Murphy's. I was also in stonemasonry.
Yep.
So trade work. That was horrible.
Yep.
Yeah, doing a few different things, just trying to make it work whilst trying to build an online business. That was like what I was focusing on at that time.
And what online businesses were you doing?
At that point in time, I was doing affiliate marketing.
Yeah. Bit of e-commerce as well.
Bit of e-commerce prior. That shut the bed completely.
And what were the sort of results?
Mediocre, let's put it that way. Lost a lot of money in the process, burnt out, working hard just for no return.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess in terms of like getting into remote closing, so at the time you were doing odd jobs, you were working like Dan Murphy's, I believe, and you were doing stonemasonry. Like what was like the biggest shifting point where you were like, all right, cool. So we're doing this, we're doing a regular 9 to 5, but I want to get into the remote sales world, essentially. Like what was like the urgency or the shifting point?
Look, I've said this to you before, but you get what you tolerate. And for me, I was sort of just like, everything was so monotonous, just, waking up super early, going to work. I mean, when I was working at the stonemasonry, that was ridiculous. I'd get up super early and you're just straight into polishing stone and things like that, wearing a huge gas mask type thing, so you don't get any of the, I don't know what it's called. What the fuck is it called? Do you know?
I think
it's not like asbestos.
That's what I was going to say.
It's not asbestos, it's silica.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'd wear a mask just to avoid the silica, because if you get that in your chest, you're pretty much cooked.
Yeah.
So yeah, things were monotonous. I was working hard, not making much money at all. As a matter of fact, I almost died. During
you did have that pretty bad injury, right?
Forklift incident, which was sort of the turning point for me anyways, I think, as well. But yeah, look.
I guess like the biggest thing for most of us guys getting into this space, the biggest thing I see anyway, it's like a shift in urgency. Like I guess like so when you were working Dan Murphy's, doing the odd jobs in stonemasonry, like what were you sort of like internally feeling every day that pushed you to be like, all right, fuck it, let's take action?
I just felt like I wasn't progressing. The only thing that I felt was progressing was my physique, because I was training a lot at the time, but that only gets you so far.
Yeah.
In terms of like the monetary thing, I mean, working an actual job plus trying to get an online business off the ground, and that wasn't getting the results that I was expecting. That was pretty disheartening.
Yeah.
And then I just felt like I was going around in circles and something needed to change. I was like, the active income is where I'm spending most of my time, and if that's not producing me a reasonable outcome and it's draining me, it's not going to be good for the business anyway. So I needed to pivot as soon as possible.
And I was similar, bro. Obviously, you know my backstory too, but doing carpentry, doing construction jobs, in and out of jobs all the time, trying to like find something to fulfill myself. And I feel like a lot of us guys are the same. It's like we know we're meant for more. We know we're capable of more. We have the capacity for more. I feel like that's the biggest driving point. But so you're doing affiliate marketing and you were doing drop shipping at the time. What do you think separates like learning the one skill of remote sales opposed to maybe doing a business?
You just answered it. Like the one skill. I mean, with business, you're trying to become a reasonably skilled in many different skills. It's like marketing, selling things, learning CRMs and code if you have to, and funnel building and all these things.
Yeah.
it's you sort of spread yourself quite thin, especially if you're doing it by yourself or even with someone else. Like it's a lot to manage, it's a lot to handle, and I think people are often psyoped into thinking that you can just start an online business that's going to turn out very well. It definitely does for the minority, but not for everyone.
Yeah.
Whereas with sales, you're just focusing on the one skill and you can really amplify that.
Yeah, because with my experience, I had a bit of success with dropshipping, but as soon as obviously for cash flow purposes for the business itself, I got into remote sales as well. And the biggest shift I've seen from trying to wear many different hats in a business to learning the one skill, it's impossible you cannot fail.
Agree.
Like as long as you're driven and committed, of course, driven and committed, they're two different things. Being committed, showing up every day, putting in the work, as you would for your business anyway.
Yeah.
With remote sales, it's inevitable to see success if you just keep going.
I think you and I can both speak on that like that. I think it's fair to say there's a plethora of different personalities in the high ticket sales space, and some people, might not be the most skilled or, what am I trying to say here? They don't have natural talent, but they didn't stop. They stuck with it and they made it work.
We've seen plenty of guys doing that, big numbers.
Yes.
And that's the biggest myth as well. It's like people think you have to be like some sort of extrovert to get into sales.
Oh, mate, I'm the furthest thing from it.
I'm an introvert as well, right? And that was like the biggest fear factor or limiting belief I had when I got into sales. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just do sales for a little bit, fund the business, but you're quick to realize like being an introvert is almost a superpower. But yeah, as I was saying, like the biggest thing we see, it's like, it doesn't matter if you're an introvert, extrovert, doesn't matter what walk of life you're from, as long as you're committed, you can use and you can lean into your strengths of your personality type and you can make sales work and make a lot of money.
Absolutely.
A lot of sales reps are making more than business owners make, right?
Yeah.
But I want to talk about this as well. So when you got into remote sales, like was there any sort of like fear or maybe uncertainty that came up?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just for context, I was working, like my first ever sales, I wouldn't even categorize it with what we're talking about here, but I ended up working for a local sales company in the Gold Coast, selling super low ticket, like RSL, prize home giveaway packages, like $20, $30, whatever it is. And at the time, that was better than any other job I'd had.
Yeah.
That was my sort of first experience selling. And then obviously I came across an opportunity to take it completely remote and sell something that is high ticket, commission only. And yeah, I was shit scared. Absolutely shit scared at the time.
What were you scared of the most though?
Sort of just taking the risk. I think, you sort of get accustomed, especially if you've been working a traditional job for such a long time, 100%. You get accustomed to just like weekly pay. It's an hourly rate, and if you show up, you're going to get paid.
It's comfortability.
100% it's comfortable. But you sort of see the other lens of that when you actually start making a hell of a lot more through commissions, that it isn't comfortable. But besides the point, that was probably the most daunting part. It's like you're going into the unknown. I didn't really know too many people in this space at that point in time.
Yeah.
And I was basically going to just quit my job and do it. So, of course, it was scary.
And from overcoming that fear, overcoming that uncertainty, how long did it take you to do your first 10K month?
3 months.
Same. That's like the biggest number that most people come into the space in their mind. It's like 10K. And it's like you get into the space and you realize how fucking easy it is to make 10K. Now, obviously, if you don't, there's a few different factors that go into play. Like if you're lazy and you just sleep in, you're in bed all day and you're not doing the work, you're not going to do 10K. But if you're somewhat committed, you have any level of drive, like it's pretty hard not to make 10K.
Yeah.
If you're in a good company as well.
Absolutely.
But I guess I want to talk about your recent success as well, because 10K is great, but on the other side of that is bigger months. So what's like the recent success look like?
In more recent times, God, I had some huge wins in comparison to 12 months ago or even 18 months ago. In June, I did 285,000 in revenue, which sort of equates to about 35,000 in comms. That's excluding rebills. So with rebills on top, you're probably looking at about 41.5 to 42.
Yeah.
So a huge month.
Crazy. And did you ever see that happening from remote sales?
Not at the start, no. I think sort of as you work your way through it, you start to realize how possible it is, especially once you're surrounding yourself with other people that are doing those numbers.
Yeah.
It makes it so much more realistic.
Well, that's the biggest thing as well, is like when you get that exposure to network.
Yes.
Like obviously guys like us being in the space, and then you meet other guys like us. It's sort of like a spiral effect. You meet one guy, it leads to meeting another guy.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you've got the opportunity to make 30, 40, 50K a month.
Yeah. And just on that, I want to make that clear as well. Like when I got into this sort of space as a whole, I was quite skeptical too. Like you see a lot of numbers thrown around, but you can't fathom it because you haven't been exposed to it. Mm-hmm. One thing I'd say is like once you do get on the other side of that wall, when you start to make your first money in any sort of remote setting or online setting, you start surrounding yourself with those people. It does very quickly become reality because you're seeing these people in real time. You're speaking to these people in real time, and they're printing cash.
100%. I guess, and look, I know there would be a lot of guys, even women, right, watching these sort of videos about making money online, even this video in particular, but if someone's sitting on the fence, they're thinking about making money online, whether it's with a business or remote sales, or even they're looking at getting started with us over at Freedom Founders, like what would you say to the person who is on the fence?
You put pressure on yourself, or life puts pressure on you. Yeah. What I mean by that is, yes, it's daunting, yes, it's scary, but it's like, I mean, you see the state of everything right now. I mean, a lot of people can't even afford to take care of themselves, let alone a family. And if you're not going to sort of take the leap and trust yourself to learn the skills that are required to make that level of income, you're putting yourself in a very shit position, just to be frank. It's not as hard as you think. You just have to commit to yourself, which, look, for some people that is difficult, but I think once you get past that first hurdle and you take that first step, naturally things will take place.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like success is just on the other side of fear and the action people haven't taken, for sure.
Yeah.
But appreciate you coming on, bro. Good
Pleasure.
seeing you. Done. I'll see you guys soon.